Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Doctor Who. I'm on Doctor Who cold turkey right now. I don't know about you guys. And we've still got till August, September to wait until season 9 launches. First 2 episodes, of course, we all know. The Missy Master is back. We don't know what it's all about, but really exciting. Just thinking back really this morning and just remembering how I was introduced to Doctor Who. This insane TV show, this insane franchise. I remember going through, we had 3 or 4 channels at the time. And one minute there's Tom Baker standing on top of this tall thing, I think there's a windmill or something. The next thing he's on the floor, this white thing goes into him. And he regenerates into Peter Davison. And from that moment on, I was in love with Doctor Who. I can't really pinpoint what I loved about it. There were so many different things. I think Peter Davison helped for me, him being the Doctor. I just thought he was a brilliant Doctor. I think the writing at the time was really strong. I loved the episodes. I loved the companions. I loved Adric. I know Adric is not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought the guy was brilliant. He was a young boy. I was a young boy. I identified with him. I think did we have Nyssa and Tegan? Definitely Tegan. I loved Tegan. What you guys got to remember as well, I mean, I don't know every single Peter Davison episode off by heart. It's been a long time. I haven't really watched them. I haven't bought the DVDs. I'd love to one day do one thing, and that's just sit back and like rewatch every single Doctor Who episode ever made, from the classics to New Who. Because to me, it's just the same show. I know a lot of you don't agree with that, and obviously it's had to cater to the modern times, but it is wholeheartedly Doctor Who. But I would absolutely love to go back and watch it all from beginning to end. Really would be amazing for me. I just want to really discuss something that's really bugging me is this kind of, you get a lot of fangirls on YouTube, a lot of fangirls on Twitter talking about Ten and the Doctor. When I talk about Ten and the Doctor, I mean Ten and Rose. Ten is the Doctor. Well, some of you may disagree, but Ten is the Doctor. Basically, what all that is alluding to is that David Tennant's Doctor and Billie Piper's Rose were a big love thing, and basically it wasn't that Rose was in love with the Doctor, but that Rose was actually in love with David Tennant's Doctor. Now, first of all, I know a lot of us, especially around our kind of years and who kind of started with Classic Who, are kind of not happy that we had this kind of love story. We hate when we see these videos with these fangirls doing this and that. The facts are the facts. And the Doctor and Rose were in love. No question about it. But this kind of theory where the Doctor and Rose were kind of this thing where it was all about David Tennant's Doctor and Billie Piper's Rose is just, that's a bigger fiction than the show. From the first moment they met in Rose, they were in love. But it wasn't just about this lovey-dovey kind of rom-com thing. It was, they were friends, but they were in love with each other. They were really into each other. They were together all the time in the TARDIS, travelling from place to place. Even when he used to take her home, he'd still be with her. It's not like now with the Stephen Moffat era, if you like, where he takes Clara home. I suppose he could shoot off and do something else. I don't really like that. And one thing I would love to get back to is leaving the time travelling and the travelling through time and space down to the TARDIS, rather than the Doctor stopping here and there and deciding where he's going and knowing where he's going to. For me, the fun aspect of Doctor Who in the classic series and in the modern series is where they land somewhere they didn't think they were going to land. I think it's brilliant in Tooth and Claw when the Doctor thinks he's going to a concert, but actually he lands, so far back in the past in Scotland, and that was amazing. That's what to me, that's what I love about Doctor Who, the aspect. It's all random. Sometimes he doesn't even know what's going to happen. And that's why he loves his life so much. He's travelling around time and space, but he don't really know. He's a Time Lord. He kind of knows what the future holds, what's possible, but not what's certain. So what I'm alluding to really is to look at this, the Doctor and the Rose companion relationship, And look at what it was. These were two people who fell in love gradually through time. But as far as I'm concerned, Rose wasn't in love with the 10th Doctor. Rose was in love with the Doctor wholeheartedly. Otherwise, why did she make all that fuss when he marooned her back on Earth? Why did she, in Parting of the Ways, why did she fight tooth and nail to get back to him and rescue him? I want you safe, my Doctor. She loves him and he loves her. She didn't just do that out of friendship. The whole point is there was this amazing thing going on. And to people will allude, I think what happened at the end, I think what happened in the season 4 finale, when the Doctor leaves her, takes her back to Bad Wolf Bay, and I think there's a lot of discussion about why he did that. Does that mean he doesn't love her? No, of course it doesn't. What happened in that aspect was simple. First of all, he had a big problem with Donna. He had to take her home. But the whole thing was that no matter how much the Doctor loves Rose, the Doctor does not want to settle down with any person, any woman, any being, get a mortgage, have kids. That's not the life he wants. That's why the guy runs away from Gallifrey in the first place. He doesn't want to just stand still. He wants to travel. He wants to explore. Now, why not invite Rose back to start travelling with him again? He had to drop Donna back to Earth anyway. He had the issue, of course, with the human metacrisis Doctor as well. He needs someone to look after him because he's extremely dangerous and he can become a very powerful villain if left to his own devices. But I think wholeheartedly the reason why Doctor didn't take Rose with him again was this. He had this whole thing of her being human, of him having to see her grow old and die. And I think because he already lost her once, he couldn't handle losing her again. So rather go through all that again, he left her with her family at Bad Wolf Bay, and he gave her the gift, if you like, as well of the human metacrisis Doctor, by actually saying, here's a part of me, here's a gift, he can grow old with you. He's not me, but he's a part of me. And that's the best the Doctor could do for her. And it wasn't like when he lost her at the end of season 2, where it was kind of tragic. This was a kind of different thing, where he kind of reconciled it in his head, where he knew he didn't want to grow old with her because he couldn't handle losing her again. And I think the Doctor is very fickle in a way, if you like, because what he does, he gets over people quickly. He has to, in his head, kind of forget people, like he did Sarah Jane, and we had all that, didn't we, in School Reunion. It's not because he's been an a-hole, it's because he has to cope, to move on, because he's basically forever. So that's how I see. I think, yes, Rose was brilliant in season 1 as far as I'm concerned. Rose was extremely annoying in season 2, and that's because she was really popular in season 1 and she was leaving in season 2. So they had to kind of make us dislike her a little bit. It would have been really hard to, when the replacement came in, Martha, aka Freema Agyeman, who I thought was delightful and wonderful. Russell gave her a great character, and I thought Freema did a great job. And it was really a thankless task coming when Billy left. But I think she was great. I think Russell didn't really do the family great, and that's because I think Martha's family wasn't as good as Rose's family for one reason. Because I believe as well that Catherine Tate was meant to come in from season 3, and I think probably, I'm guessing, scheduling and all that made it a bit difficult for Catherine to be full-time from The Runaway Bride onwards, that they had to bring someone in for that year. And I think that's kind of why Russell kind of didn't go really deep into the family like he did with Rose, which is a shame. But I loved Martha. I loved how brave and independent Martha got in the end. I thought she was a great character. I know a lot of people don't like Martha, but a hell of a lot of people love her as well. And I think Freema Agyeman is awesome as well. She's doing really well for herself in America, which is brilliant. In fact, you could even argue that Freema's slightly more successful than Billy. I know Billy's doing really well as well at the moment, but I don't know. But I mean, Freema got a lot of hate from Billy Piper fans, and it's not about Billy Piper fans. It's not about David Tennant fans. It's great that we love our separate people and all that, but we're fans of Doctor Who, aren't we? We love this crazy, insane universe. I do, and I don't want to be arguing with other Doctor Who fans about who's this and who's that. Is Moffat good? Is Davies good? Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat are great in their own way, and they're awesome. But there's things that Russell did, even though he's my inspiration for writing. I mean, the man's amazing, and I love the guy to death. There was things that maybe I didn't agree with, but again, you've got to understand that they're the ones in the job. It's like Stephen Moffat. When he first came in, it was even though I loved the guy for what he did with Jekyll, it was hard because he changed everything so dramatically, and I loved what Russell did, and it was difficult, but I got used to it, and I loved seasons 5 and 6. 7 was kind of, you could tell that it was a writer who knew he was losing his lead actor. It wasn't rubbish. I wouldn't say it was rubbish. It just wasn't as exciting as 5 and 6. But then we kind of re-injected the pace. When Amy and Rory left, it was a lot more exciting because then we were trying to figure out who Clara was. And I love Peter Capaldi. I love aspects of what they did with Clara. But like a lot of people, I'm disappointed that we got this brilliant, mature actor in, but what he did was give us with one hand and take away from the other. Oh, we don't want to really upset the fangirls too much, so we'd have this good-looking young girl like in the forefront while the main guy, the doctor's kind of on the subs bench. So that was a shame. But I do think that Moffat is a genius. Anyone who gives you the War Doctor is a genius. So I'm excited for season 9. I'm going to do loads more of these videos. We'll talk again. Hopefully this uploads, because YouTube and Facebook, sometimes if you go over 10 minutes, are really stingy. We'll talk again. Keep on rewatching Doctor Who. Keep on talking. I want to make lots of Doctor Who friends on Twitter and Facebook. Follow me, add me, whatever. I love Doctor Who, so let's chat about anything. And up the DWP. I love you guys. We'll speak soon.